I don't speak for the church.
You good, I told me.
But we had the mayor's office here too. We had the council office here too.
Don.
Right.
You want this,
Continue on with the agenda.
you want me to speak?
I think if we make any comment, I think that, I think what I'd like to do is hear the feedback from the community, then we can comment. But I think one thing that probably would have been a good idea to say at the beginning is, based on the last meeting, the community asked us to go back to DDOT and have a conversation. We took an account of all your concerns. We were actually pretty meticulous about it. We had a number of different conversations with Ms. Powell. She came in. We had one set of questions. We went back to her. She canvassed the church. She canvassed the community, because we wanted to make sure we addressed every point that you had concerns about today. We also met with DDOT, and I think that before the meeting's over, they will have an opportunity and have addressed most of the points that we were aware of that are of concern. So there's a couple of different there are a couple of different pieces to this puzzle. One of them is the Met Branch Trail and the area that surrounds here. Then there's another piece that's Blair Road that actually Jim Sebastian and Michael Alvino are not necessarily involved in directly, but I think they have done a great job of coming back and giving you sort of a peripheral view of what the status of Blair Road is. So I think that, you know, our goal here today was to make sure that every single one of the community concerns was addressed, that it was shared with DDOT, that they had a chance to carefully evaluate it based on studies, and to bring that report back to the community. And DDOT was bringing back their recommendations for input to see what could happen. You know, National Park Service, Ms. Powell was very interested in having National Park Service be a part of this meeting, so we worked to try to facilitate having them here today. It sounds like there's actually been quite a turn of events in terms of what we all may have anticipated National Park Service position on Met Branch Trail was. So I think those are the remarks I have, and I'm happy to share more at the end, but I think it's good to hear. We're here to kind of hear what the community has to say, allow you to have feedback, make this an interactive discussion with DDOT, so that they can move forward with the plans and take the feedback that you've shared so that they can finalize some plans.
Okay.
All right, so you went South Manor? Now, you've heard a lot of stuff about South Manor, some of the stuff about First Street. South Manor also goes all the way up to Whittier Street, or in this area. Yeah. And the concerns that people brought up before, I really don't see any changes that's been made that the people in this community have been calling for. Are you forcing the bike trail? Whose decision is it to put the bike trail on Blair Road? When most of the people on that ride bikes come up 3rd Street, 2nd Street, and then they go down North Dakota, back to 3rd Street, or they go straight up 3rd Street. You don't see that many people on Blair Road with ride bikes. And if you're not familiar with this neighborhood, because I know you don't live in D.C. now, and that's one of my concerns about you planning this bike trail, and you don't live in D.C. I mean, when I first talked to you, way back when I talked to you, there was a lot of stuff you didn't know was taking place with the development that was coming on here on Blair Road, and the continued trucks, big trucks and stuff that's backing up and down Blair Road by the liquor store, the furniture store, and all the refrigerator place is up there. And we already had a lady on what was that, a Safeway, get hit on Blair Road in Peabody. She's a police officer, was hit, and she's supposed to know how to cross the street. And it was difficult for her to maneuver back and forth across the street without getting hit. I just want to know, why is it you forcing the bike trail on Blair Road? Whose decision is it to put the bike trail on Blair Road? And why we're not being listened to when we say Blair Road would be not a great idea. And I don't know if you ever to come through this area at 5 o'clock or during rush hour time. It's very congested in this entire area. And they have done studies, traffic studies, for years. That went from Missouri Avenue, Military Road, all the way down here to going into Maryland. And we have had a lot of development in this community that has happened that even makes it worse. I mean, you can't get up Kansas Avenue, you can't get up Riggs Road. How do you think the bike trail is not gonna make it, you know, it's gonna make it much easier? I don't understand how you think that's gonna happen.
Okay.
And one more question I want to ask you before you do stuff. How many vehicle parking, how will this affect? How many cars will be, parking spaces will be lost because of the bike trail?
0.
Huh?
In this area, 0. From
I'm talking about the whole Metropolitan bike trail,
Aspen
going from
down-
Riggs Road all the way up to Eastern Avenue.
Aspen down to,
So Eastern Avenue is still gonna lose the park.
well, no, Eastern Avenue will keep the parking. In fact, based on our last discussion that you and I had, we've actually removed the proposed park. We talked about maybe having parking by the liquor store, and you pointed out the part about the trucks backing in and out by M&M.
No, that's not Eastern Avenue, that's Blair Road.
I'm sorry.
That's 6,000,
Blair
that's
Road.
6,100 block of Blair Road.
So what we did, and we were gonna bring it down to 1 lane northbound, just south of the liquor store, and then have it be 1 lane. Because of your input, in part because of your input, and concern about putting parking on Blair Road there, we actually put that further north. So the Blair Road will stay as it is today until you get to Sheridan, so that the trucks will be able to get in and out and use both those lanes, and we won't have any parking there, and the change from 2 lanes to 1 will be further north. So in terms of what changed from the last meeting, this looked different at the last meeting.
Well, I
in
don't
terms
see
of-
anything, because really, bikes shouldn't have be on Blair Road.
Okay, so to address that question, to address that issue back to this, the reason bikes aren't on Blair Road is because it's scary to bike on Blair Road.
Scary to
And,
drive.
and scary to drive. So that's why we have this interim route, that red line you see. But when we build so it's unsafe to bike on Blair Road. And the idea is we want to make it safer, and it will be much more direct. That red line has been, like we talked about, interim route for many years now, at least 5 years. It's a lot longer distance. It's mixing with cars, whereas the facility on Blair Road will look like this. And it will be safe. It will be completely physically separated from motor vehicle traffic. Kids, families will be able to use it. It's raised up a few inches, plus there's a 2-foot wall with a railing on it. So that's why Blair Road will be safe. Hmm?
Are you lighting the sidewalk?
No, the sidewalk and the parking and the 2 drive lanes will remain the same. And I know you're talking about the tree issue. We can actually look into that as we.
No, are you taking part of the street to do this?
We're taking the lane against the wall. Right now, there's 2 lanes. This is right south of Aspen.
Well, if you know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I mean, are you putting any bike lanes on the Beltway? I mean, that's just like the Beltway.
If
coming
we
up down Blair
put
Road.
something like this on the Beltway, physically separated by a 2-foot wall that's 3 feet high, that would be safer, just like on Rock Creek, just like on the Custis Trail along I-66.
But
You
you
move it on
didn't,
I-66.
you didn't reduce the
Sir.
street when you do that.
Yeah.
I'm here at this meeting primarily because of the Blair Road
Okay.
between Peabody and George Avenue. And just so the history, years ago, the city said New York Avenue, Florida Avenue, Peabody Street, Kansas Avenue were the worst. There were many accidents back in the